This video provides an overview of how to configure the logon experience within 2FA1. Best practice is to configure the logon experience from 2FA1 server. For ease of use and understanding, I'm going to be configuring the logon experience within the 2FA1 client. Open up the 2FA1 client and click on System Settings, and then Manage Logon Experience. You'll see within this area that all of the credential providers are listed, although some of the credential providers listed are not credential providers belonging to 2FA1, such as WinBio and Vault Cred Provider. But what you can do within this area is permit or restrict what credential providers are available for individual users. So I'm going to go ahead and log off here, and you'll see that the current environment has all the credential providers that are available in 2FA1 except for Smart Card available. So I'm going to go ahead and log on with my RFID card and go back in and configure this environment. You saw that there were a number of credential providers, but let's say that you only wanted to provide the capability for users to log on with their RFID card, and in the event that they didn't have their card, they were permitted to log on with emergency access. Now you can push those policies out through 2FA1's server, and that's again best practice. But in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn off username and password, insert a smart card PIN. I'm going to leave proximity RFID logon enabled, and then I'm going to leave emergency access enabled. I'm going to turn off magstripe, fingerprint, and the other credential providers that are in this area. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Within Windows 7, immediately those credential providers will no longer be available. That's the same with Windows 8. In XP, you do need to go through and do a full reboot. Now you'll see that I only have 2 credential providers available now. Now this is ideal for organizations where users have to know their username and password for Windows for some other reason, maybe for configuring Outlook on their mobile phone, or they need to enter it into some other system, but you don't want to have them log on to Windows with their Active Directory username and password. So this provides a very high level of security to ensure that a username and password is not capable to be used for Windows logon. So in this case, I can present my card. I currently have a PIN policy set to not require a PIN, or I could go and I could have the user log on with emergency access. Emergency access logon is also a component of our self-service password reset, where the user has the capability to do a number of actions. But in this case, it's an emergency access. I need to get onto the system. I normally log on with my RFID card, but that's not available. I need to get in, and I'm logging on with my high security challenge response questions. Specifically for CGIS authentication, emergency access cannot be used by itself. It must be used in conjunction with risk-based authentication. So this process that I'm showing you right now is not a CGIS advanced authentication compliant logon process. This is ideal for potentially within an agency if you are a public safety agency, or it's ideal for an organization that wants to enforce a stronger form of authentication and move away from username and passwords. We see a lot of times organizations use this as an initial step where there's some concerns about moving away from username and passwords, and they want to kind of ease the process. They no longer use username and password, but in the event that you don't have your RFID card or a fingerprint sensor or some other process isn't working, you do have the capability to fall back to emergency access and log on with high security challenge response questions.